Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review of Kiznaiver, Episode 4. Now, this one I really did enjoy. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was hilarious. But I will start off by saying that I didn't quite think it was up to the par of the first three. It was still great. It was still amazing. Still one of the best anime I've seen in a while. But this was sort of a, this episode, it seemed like we had a lot of information dumped on us. Information that at the current part in the story doesn't totally make sense yet because we still need to see where it leads. So yeah, it was just like, it was weird because it was like the episode had a bunch of build-up and then we're just going to have to wait and see where that build-up leads. As build-up, it was still funny and great, but we didn't see where anything really leads yet. So it kind of leaves us hanging there waiting to see what happens next episode. And again, sure, next episode is going to be great. So I guess let's go ahead and get into it scene by scene. We start off with that flashback that we saw in the first episode, or the dream or whatever that Katsuhira keeps having. And the one little kid is definitely him. The other little kid I was watching and I was like, so that little kid's got to be Sonozaki, right? And it was revealed that that is her, but I'm not sure what the dream quite means yet. Like, it's another one of those things that I think it may almost even be like a Madoka Magica type situation where it'll probably be the last 2 or 3 episodes when we find out what the dream means. That might be something that they're just going to keep hinting at and that we don't have any real context for until we get towards the end, and then we can tell, okay, that's what that means. Like, it's just one of those running threads that doesn't really mean much to us now, but it's going to mean something to us in the late game of the anime. So snapping back to reality, we got everybody in Katsuhira's little apartment, house, whatever. Yeah, I guess it would be an apartment. But they're all in there, and Hisomu has really grown on me. He is really funny. I like him now. All of the comments of how he likes sudden pain that he doesn't expect was funny. The tuna comment, the farmer's tuna comment, was especially hilarious. And I also absolutely loved everyone's reactions to it, but especially Maki's. I thought Maki's reactions to this were hilarious. And out of the 7, I love every single one, but Maki and Chidori are kind of the most bland or annoying, Maki being the most bland, Chidori being the most annoying. I still like them, but I feel like their characters do need to come a little further in comparison to the other characters when it comes to just entertainment. But different people like different kinds of characters, so I'm sure there are people that love Maki and Chidori so far. But Maki's reactions to all of Hisomu's stuff was just hilarious. I love the way she reacted to it. And then even later on when they're at, I guess it would be the bus station or whatever, when Yuta and Maki are talking, I loved that exchange. I really love Yuta. He is one of my favorites. I think maybe Tenga and Yuta are fighting to be my favorite character right now. I thought Yuta was hilarious there, and Maki especially with the quick comeback like, well, in grade school your boobs were bigger than mine. That was just such a great joke. It was really funny, and it was funny how Yuta reacted, not by like freaking out like you would say, okay, the stereotypical anime just yelling and freaking out. It was just sort of the like, yeah, your personality sucks. Like, I really thought that was great, and this anime feels like it borders, some of the characters border on stereotypical, but it's amazing the way they do it because they're taking these character types that we see in anime pretty often and just twisting them to make them look like, oh, that's a really weird character flaw, and that flaw is how they live because of whatever. So it's interesting the way they're taking the character archetypes and twisting them to make the character something unique by being a example of the archetype. So the next day we're back at the school, and again it's hilarious. I really loved Hisomu's outfit when Hisomu showed up with the just t-shirt with the Hisomu name tag, just it's like barely hanging on the front of it. For some reason I thought that was hilarious, the way he just had a name tag barely hanging on his shirt. I thought it was very funny, and Nico especially, once again, super cute when they exchanged all of their email information. I guess kids in Japan use email. Didn't know email was that popular of a communication method with high schoolers. So we moved from there into their next challenge, which was eating fried rice within a certain time. It was just kind of weird and funny. And I thought that they could have done more with the joke of it, but they kind of dropped it quickly and moved on to other stuff, like Katsuhira approaching Sonozaki and trying to say, okay, you want to make a connection with people too. And then seeing Sonozaki's phone was hilarious too. The way her phone, like, she's so sort of monotonous and monochrome. Her personality is very monochrome. It's just like kind of a bland seeming personality, but she has the just sparkly phone with all the different things attached to it. Was very funny. So a scene that I thought was kind of weird, and their explanation of things was kind of weird too. Now that, like, the bullies are talking about freaking killing Tenga, freaking killing a guy. So the guidance counselor approaches them, blah blah blah, whatever, and she pulls out a real gun and starts shooting at the machine, and I'm like, that's the sort of thing that I don't think that you would ordinarily get away with, shooting an automatic gun in the middle of a city in a public place. But we do find out through the explanation, I'll go ahead and throw it out there, that a third of the city used to be part of the Kizuna project, and there's people watching them everywhere. So I guess it doesn't matter because she works for the Kizuna project people, or the committee, and it's a really strange explanation that I hope they elaborate more on, because the city seems normal enough, at least for these kids to not know about it. So a third of the people working for the place would be kind of... A third is a lot of people. They could have said we just have a ton of agents out there, but saying a third, that just... It seems... It makes it feel off, because then you don't feel like it's just these kids special in an organic environment. Now they're sort of like special in a place where it doesn't matter, because a third of the city is built around them and their project anyway. So it makes it feel less special if it is a third. I don't know. That explanation kind of gets me kind of weird. And also we find out that all the Go Marine, of course, work for the Kizuna committee. So I've got to say that the car ride was hilarious. I love the game they play and how like Tenga, Hisomu, and Nico were so into it. It was really funny, and also how Sonozaki kept ruining it, of course. Also really kind of weird and funny at the same time how Chidori is so jealous of Sonozaki. I don't like that character trait very much. I think it could get tedious. But as for right now, it's okay. It was just sort of weird. I didn't really see that sort of plot coming into play here. And of course, once again, I don't feel the need to say it every time, but they were all very funny once they got and were hiking at their destination. I will say that I liked that how they showed that Yuta doesn't trust Hisomu yet, that of course he wouldn't in the situation that they're in and the personality type that Hisomu has. So I think that's very interesting how they bring it up and how they wove it in. And this really weird Tenga x Chidori stuff. I thought the Tenga and Chidori stuff was a bit odd. Again, something I did not see coming in any way. Just this weird tsundere romantic stuff that just came out of left field this episode. And then lastly, we have the bullies that are being transported by Yamada and the counselor whose name I still have not memorized. And they are going, and it looks like they're following our group, and the bullies seem to have been connected as well. The two of them are connected. So can they just connect anyone. It's kind of weird, so I don't know. Those two seem to be connected to each other. All of our Kiznaiver that our like main 7 are connected, so some weird stuff going on. Like I said, it's where we've been given all this stuff. We were given a ton of stuff this episode. Just none of it really led anywhere yet, but we can see where it is leading somewhere. We just have to wait and see where it leads. So the episode was really great and entertaining. It just, as an episode, was not as good as the first 3. It was great, just not quite as good. So I've got to say, music choices were great, of course. Animation was great, of course. I feel like I say this every episode, but I think it's necessary for the review to say that it was great. And that's... I hate saying great and amazing and all these adjectives over and over, but I guess that those are the only ways I can describe this. There's nothing really negative yet for me to comment on, except for the weird out of left field romantic seeming subplots. But again, I feel like they're going somewhere with it, so I'm not going to really criticize it because it does seem like it's going somewhere. Even though it came out of nowhere, it seems like it has an aim to it. So with all that in mind, I'm going to give it 8.5 tsunderes out of 10. Because like I said, it was amazing, just not really up to the same standard as the first 3. So I really thank you all so much for watching. Like if you did like this video, comment down there and tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you thought of my thoughts, what you thought of the episode itself. Subscribe for more Kiznaiver, my voice keeps cracking, One Piece, The Walking Dead, Tower of God, and a bunch more stuff. And follow on Twitter as well, because I'll keep you updated there on when I'm going to be posting stuff or pushing anything back. So, sincerely, thank you all so much for watching, and I guess that's it. I'll see you all next time.